Hey, good afternoon. It's about 3:15 on the PM on August 14th, 2020. I want to be. I realized something today, and I think I just want to say that I still know a lot of women who are named Karen. They're very different from a lot of the quote unquote Karens that we often associate with. All over social media with white, privileged, middle-aged to late, uh, late baby boomers who feel they are uh, should have pretty much complete control over everything. But these women are very intellectual. They're very open-minded. They're very, I wouldn't really say they're liberals. They're more moderates. I think they're conservative in some ways, and I think they're liberal-minded in some ways. I think that's what's best. They're not exactly all of them are very religious, but they do feel the need that other people need to be treated just like it as fairly and as good as everyone else. But I think some people have asked, well, where did this whole idea of Karen come about? I think some people have pointed to Dane Cook did a bit back in 2005 in which he pretty much said, Karen is the one person in the group no one likes. And there was also some, I think it was Mean Girls, in which one of the characters was named Karen, and she was wondering why Lindsay Lohan's character was from Africa, even though she was white. But I think it goes farther back. I think we really need to look at the latter half of the 20th century, and that's kind of where the evolution of Karens started. And what's interesting is that one holiday favorite we always watch almost every Christmas time, Frosty the Snowman, which came out in 1969, and Jimmy Durante, Jackie Vernon, and what was the name of the little girl, the little blonde hair girl, with what appears to just be like a red overcoat and shoes or boots, whatever, no pants. What was her name? Karen. Yes, her name is Karen. And it's always amazed me how come it's wintertime, there's snow on the ground, it's cold. So why is she even allowed to run around with no pants on? And at first you think, well, it's just a cartoon, and there's also a kid there. He's not wearing, he's wearing shorts. But yeah, that's guys. Guys are like that. I mean, everybody knows a guy who's like that during the wintertime. But Karen is obviously, I think she woke up that one morning and had a fight with her parents and said, I don't care if it is, 25 degrees outside, Mom. I'm gonna wear my no pants and overcoat today. So the whole story. Professor Hinkle, who looks like a child molester, he kind of performs this terrible magical act in front of these kids. It's Christmas Eve, but yeah, they're still going to school. What's up with that? But but the hocus pocus, the bunny rabbit, he pretty much takes off the hat. He takes off with the hat, and the kids find the hat, and they put it on the snowman. And Frosty comes along and says, "Happy birthday!" And even though he's only been alive for like 5 minutes, they suddenly decide that they're going to basically send him out to the North Pole, and they go to a train station. Here's where Karen becomes full Karen. Is that she actually goes to the train station, and she's like, "Oh, well, we don't have any money." I mean, how many people have actually? I mean, that's complete customer service right there. That's Karen customer service right there. She's intentionally going somewhere where she knows she isn't going to get service because she doesn't have any money, but she's expecting service. And you gotta understand that the guy who's at the ticket counter, he gets really huffy and puffy, and says no money, no ticket. And so then they go off on the train ride, And Karen gets on, all right? Karen gets on the train. Like, none of the other boys get on the train because they know, hey, it's a refrigerated boxcar. They're going to freeze their asses off. They're going to die. And Karen's like, oh, I'm pretty sure my parents won't mind as long as I'm home for supper. Karen, you're not at Buffy and Missy's house doing your nails, all right? You're going many miles away from home with some weird freaking creature being chased by a pedophile child molester like Professor Hinkle. And the whole episode is basically Karen freaking out because this guy she's with, this weird creature she's with. I mean, you tell people, like, don't go anywhere with strange people. And she's literally going to the North Pole with this weird creature who loves for her to ride on his back. I mean, this whole show is just freaking out if you really want to analyze it further. But yeah. And then Karen, they go in that greenhouse with all the poinsettias, and Frosty dies, and Free melts, and Karen's freaking out. Now Karen's freaking out. She's freaking out. She's basically pulling the same thing that woman did out in Oakland, where the people were barbecuing with charcoal, and she's crying like, ooh, Frosty, Frosty, Frosty. She just knew him for a couple hours, for Pete's sakes. I mean, come on. But yeah, she is like the first step in like how Karen's whack. If you look at her age, she's kind of like the baby boomer age that a lot of Karens are now. They're like in their 50s and 40s, 50s, and 60s. I think if you're below, under the 40, they say you're a Becky, and if you're older than a certain age, they call you a Susan. But yeah, so I just never understood that. Like, she goes off on this whole entitlement, thinking that she's the one who's got to take Frosty to the North Pole, and she doesn't care how he gets there. And the next thing is the movie Goodfellas. Now, I know Goodfellas was based on a true life story, and you really can't fault Martin Scorsese and Nicholas Pileggi and all them, Ray Liotta, Bobby De Niro, Joey Pesci, all those guys for this, because they didn't create this story. It happened. But you ever notice what the name is of Henry Hill's wife? Karen. And what's interesting about this whole movie is Karen and Henry meet on a double date. They're actually just there to be like wing women for their friends, because Tommy, played by Joe Pesci, he wants to more or less get with this other girl. I'm not, to be very G-rated about it. He says some other things in the movie that I'm not going to say right here, but they both know it. They know what they're there to do. And they have like the worst date in the world. Now, I've been on a few double dates in my time. They didn't go well. They didn't go this bad. But me and the women I was with, we basically decided, hey, it didn't work out. Nice to meet you. Hope you have a great life. Well, not that bad, but we weren't trying to hook up again. So Karen freaks out because she's had this bad date. Henry Hill agrees to go on another date with her. He stands her up. Now, this should be her sign. Forget it. All right? Go home, cry, and marry somebody else. And 15 years later, she'll be reading the newspaper, watching the news, and all of a sudden Henry Hill gets arrested for drug trafficking. She says, oh, well, good thing I didn't hook up with him. No. She goes totally, I want to see the manager. She goes freaking out. She goes to mafia people. She goes ballistic on the mafia people at their hangout. All right. You know how full-blown Karen you have to be to do something like that. And this was like the mafia in the 50s and the 60s. This is when they really were the badasses they are now. That we like to think they are. I mean, and she's like, on the street saying like, "Who do you think you are, Frankie Valli?" Or some kind of big shot. And they're all like, "Ooh, God, ooh." I mean, all these big guys, they're like, "Ooh, God, whoa." Hey, stay away from her. And like, what's so funny is like Joe Pesci, who is always going full Karen in all Scorsese movies, Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Casino. He's like not even in the scene whatsoever, because he's like still in the car. Hey, I ain't dealing with this, man. And that just kind of shows you, like, like how she's totally full blown Karen. That's why I think Karen came about, because Lorraine Bracco, she's a great actress. I think she was in Sopranos, and she was in some other things over the years. And I think that's kind of where it came from, because I think she is like the embodiment, the personification of the Karen, because she does just about everything in that movie stereotypically you think a Karen would do. I mean, I think it's it's I can understand Henry going nuts and pretty much pummeling that guy with pistol whipping that guy, but that should have been another sign. Hey, it's time to stop this. I mean, in real life, Karen at the time was like 18 or 19 years old, and this was like 1964, 1965. She was still young enough to like say, "You, no, 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 no." But I mean, it's kind of funny. Even in the end, when the cops are beating on the door, and they got the cocaine in like the cupboard somewhere, and she like runs and like pours it in the toilet, flushes it, and then she's like literally in her underwear and only has a nightgown on. She like takes a gun, like it looks like a 380, or anyway, and she like puts it down in her panties and closes her nightgown. Now, what's so funny is that pretty much sure the cops could see that she had the big bulge right there, and it was the 80s. It's like you're not gonna like. They're gonna be a little bit aware of that. Hey, something's not right here. Miss, can you like turn sideways? I don't know. You wouldn't be having any chance to have a weapon down there, would you? What's so funny is they could just like had like Henry's brother Michael just like sit on the cocaine. I mean, like he's in a wheelchair. What are they gonna do? Take him out of the wheelchair and see if he's hiding anything? Of course they might. You don't know it's NYPD, and of course, what's so funny is that since she's a Karen, that's like kryptonite to the New York Police Department. All she had to do was say, "No, no, no, I'm a Karen. Somebody else is dealing drugs around here. It's the people across the street," and they probably would have gone across the street. Just kidding. All right. But I think that's kind of where that Karen comes about, and like I say, I know a lot of Karens are pretty much nice women, and but I do think that it is what it is.